All right, welcome everyone. We are Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Oregairu, Season 2, Episode 1. Oh boy.
All right, let's get back into the meat of it, y'all.
Yep, we are here.
Ready.
We are here. We had some good comedy the last couple weeks and whatnot, but now we're into the next stage of things.
Yes, which means we'll finally get a follow-up to what happened at the festival.
Because quite a few things happened there.
It was a development.
Yep.
Things are iffy right now.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Friendships strained. Connections a little bit frazzled.
And, you know, I mean, you know where my head's at, right? Yui's whole thing of the, I'm just going to keep going, you know? Yeah. It could happen. I'm just saying, it could happen. Yukino's probably...
This is the thing.
The canon.
There are 3 seasons, Jacob.
But
so
there's three seasons.
There's a lot of things that can happen in that middle point of the story.
Exactly.
To bring about a lot more depth of drama for the characters individually.
It's not over till it's over.
Yeah. Y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. All right, wow, guys.
Wow.
Season 2. We got ourselves
this is different.
Visuals.
Yeah, the visuals.
God.
Wow, they look really good. Like,
really fantastic.
What more is there to say other than just okay?
Yeah,
like,
I love it. It's different. It's fancier. It's flashier. It's got more like dynamic lighting kind of stuff. It seems like the colors aren't as just straightforward. Things are like subtle and also rather expressive at specific points. But
sometimes it almost feels like there's so much to watch just in how it's presented that I feel like I'm missing things. Like because of just, you know, from the character designs and all the little movements and motions that they do to again the lighting. Even and I loved how they started it out with showing us scenes that we had already seen, but then redone in this new style to help us adjust to everything. But
and this being a new season means that they are going to tell us basically in the beginning few minutes what the direction for the story is. And it's basically like that festival, that stuff that happened near the end of it,
that's a turning point.
A lot.
Yeah.
It was a milestone moment for multiple of the characters there. And I would say one of the biggest ones was for Yukino. That she was actually able to go on stage and, you know, basically express herself in that really dramatic way, and it was really powerful not only for her and Yui, but just for the school as a whole, probably to see her in that light. But then for Hachiman and Hayama, things went a different way. Where we saw a repeat of Hayama Hayato's like.
Why do you have to do things that way?
But then when Tobechi was kind of making fun of him, he's like, "Wow, you're really gonna keep driving that joke,
that
so
dead joke,
far underground? It's gonna hit the U.S."
Right, like that. He's still standing up for him.
Still
right?
is.
Which in some ways
shows the pain of that.
Yeah, it makes it feel like it hurts more because because if he didn't care about Hachiman, that wouldn't mean much.
Or if he cared less about him now because of that.
Exactly, but he doesn't, right? He still thinks highly of him, but then it's that that's that was real good. And then we got to see Yui and Yukino standing up for Hachiman in ways that I feel like went beyond the way things were in season 1, especially for Yukino, because Yui, she would kind of rib Hachiman a little bit, you know? But with Yukino,
good playful kind of ribbing and
playful banter and all that stuff. But for Yukino, she would like pull them out, like she would not hold back with it, right? And to the point that, you know, Hachiman assumes that you're talking about me. Okay, I'll leave. But no, she's talking to Tobe and she's like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Like wow, okay,
that was good.
That was really wonderful.
Good. We get constantly a lot of little bits of moments where the characters will have little bits of dialogue that'll spit out in these funny ways and stuff, but I feel like with the animation and just the visual stuff being so good, there were a lot of little bits of character animation that felt smoother and even more like subtle in this just opening episode here that led to basically a very real feeling of, guys, like, we are going to get very rewarded for looking rather closely at how these characters express themselves and portray themselves just in general.
Yeah.
And there were just many of those moments in the simple bit of they're sitting in the service club having their little tea time and stuff, getting interrupted, and how they respond in that regard. And it was really enjoyable. I loved Hachiman's little inner commentary.
Oh yeah, yeah,
so good.
And his commentary has always been good, but like there was something about it this episode that really popped. And with regards to the new style and presentation of everything, I really like the fact that they put those little details of like character animation to help express what they're feeling and the subtext behind what they're saying. Because I will say, and I'm guessing this will probably be something that'll get easier as the show goes on, but it looked so good. I found myself being drawn to it so much that I almost felt like, oh man, when they get into the really complicated, like layers upon layers of the exact things that they say, like we've gotten in the show thus far, I hope I'm not distracted by the visuals so that I'm not giving it my full attention, right? To the actual conversational bits. So the fact that alongside those, they're also giving this extra information from the body language and everything, I really appreciate that, because I would absolutely hate to miss, even though I'm sure I do, some of the stuff that this show communicates, because it's really good, dense stuff.
Yeah. And there was a couple, I would say, notable just kind of reminders about something that where characters are on, I would call the equivalent of like story progression tracks. One of the main ones is basically how Yukino relates to Yugihama, in that she basically gives her kind of a lot of this like older sister kind of attention of just like, I'll help you, I'll be there for you and do what I can. But the fact that we are seeing kind of the like, oh, Yui's like, please, come on, Yukino, like, Toguchi needs our help, like, let's do this. And she's like, kind of this, like, I can't say no to those eyes.
Yeah, I know.
Just like, I want to say no, but
I just can't.
And the way, like, Hachiman's just like, what the, come on, like, you're not going to just put this on me, are you? Like,
right.
Like, fine, let's do it. And
oh man, the way Yui was just so animated,
so expressive.
When listening to him talk about like, hey, so I really like her, and I want to do this thing, and she's like, oh yes, and then Ebina comes in, and she's just hanging on her every word, and I can't remember if it was Yukino or Hachiman, but they're like, oh, hold on now, don't give away what's going on, and then of course the other shoe drops, and Ebina's like, the BL is too strong, and there's a potential to ruin the love triangle. And I'm like, happy, but I'm
like, come on, here, Hachiman, if you're going to bait them, you should take all of them. Like, cut to the chase. I want you to be a sub bottom.
Take all of them in. It's like, wait, what? Are you talking about connections, or are you talking about penises?
She's talking about the harem surrounding Hachiman, which I actually want to bring up in a serious manner. There's a reason why the story is like, hey, we're going to have the issue be around the next character in the clique, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Having it be the one that has been, up until this point, the joke character.
Sure.
Like, Ebina is basically the BL joke. And yet, in this moment, she's talking about how the dynamic has changed. I don't like the way things are. I want them to go back, which can't happen. Things can't go back to the way things are.
And I wonder if there's a parallel to our main cast of characters.
Yes, there is. But I wanted to bring up the fact that she's saying this when it seems like, everything's actually going as far as the service club in this exact instance here in this scene. Things are going relatively well.
Yeah.
So the combination of the joke of Hachiman, I want you to take them all, and I think what she's also maybe noticing is that there is this little bit of deference to Hachiman that she's noticing from some of the other characters in a way that fits with her BL, of course.
Definitely.
But I think it's also something whereas all the other characters have maybe some little bit of like making little jabs or jokes about, Hachiman from within the clique. She kind of has this like, no, I'm actually glad that you're a part of the group and stuff more in general now. And she wasn't saying that from the context of, like, with her tone and stuff, from the context of the joke.
Right.
This is a serious thing. So it's almost like she's saying, things have changed. I don't necessarily like how they changed, but I'm not saying that you're the reason and the problem as to why they've changed, Hachiman. Now, she's
that's
calling
something
him by the nickname that everyone's kind of accepted there and stuff. But that is something that, I feel like is rather genuine here, rather specific and just important to take note of.
Yeah, and her whole thing of I want things to be like the way they were before, that feels very, coming of age story, like, they're in high school and growing up and things like that, and there will come a point for Hachiman, maybe, where it's those times that I was spending with the service club, those were really good. Those were really good. I wish I was still with them. Or I wish the things between us were like they were before, right?
Right.
Because, he is aware of the dynamics between him and the two girls, right? Every time Yui is like, hey, here you go, drink from this. And he's like...
Defenses, guard
Defenses,
up.
yep.
I don't want to get hurt again. Nope.
Wax on, wax off.
Can't
deflect. Like,
Nope.
And then...
She's being a nice girl again. Nope.
Right, and
nope.
Too
nice.
I can't deal with that, right? And then Yukino with the no, let's walk far apart because I don't want people to see us together and get any ideas.
Yeah.
Which has, I feel like, a whole ton of potential meanings, right? Because there's there's the conflict that they've had together, and there's the fact that it really has affected Yukino on a deep level, right? Basically, it's that she was oozing vulnerability basically in her scenes with Hachiman, right?
Yeah.
Whether she was actually with Hachiman or she was just going to get the panda and then she sees that he's there, right? She's not used to that.
Yeah.
Right? She is absolutely not used to that. And she cherishes these moments, right? She's like, thank you for walking with me, right?
Yep.
But at the same time, she distances herself. This dynamic that they have between these three characters here in this service club, it's changing, right?
Yep.
We're not in the first season anymore.
Nope.
Like things are moving on, and because they're moving on, there is going to come to a point where they conclude. Yes, in the show, but also in their time at high school, in their relationships and such. Like, eventually Yui's whole thing of constantly being like, hey, Hachiman, come on, what are you doing? I like you, right?
Right.
That there is going to come to a point where that is, that reaches a conclusion one way or another, right? And Hachiman went over all of the things that he's constantly talking about if you confess to somebody, these are the things that can happen, right? And yes, he was talking about past experiences and past pains and whatnot.
Yep.
But those were also kind of present too.
And they're presently relevant. It's just a question of how aware he is of weaponizing that. Because I don't think we can necessarily say that he is perfectly aware of the unintended double meanings or the potentially observed or interpreted double or triple meanings within his words based on the company present.
Right.
I think he is aware of how other people's stuff could be misinterpreted because he's hyper paranoid sometimes about how the way that people do things, ultimately communicates something else and thus ends up having a nice little bubble barrier that keeps him from getting hurt too much.
But then he doesn't give himself enough credit to actually
know how influential a lot of the things he says can be.
Because there's the obvious situations like with Yui, for instance, right? And he knows that she likes him even though he's kind of almost in denial, it feels like, right?
He's putting up defenses.
Yeah, he's putting up defenses, right?
Yeah.
But then there's people like with Hayama. Well, Yukino, yeah.
Oh, Hayama too.
And then Hayama, where he's the exact opposite kind of person. It's the, I should be invisible to you, right? In fact...
But Hayama wants to be your friend.
Yeah. And in fact,
really
it bothers me that you do want to be my friend to some degree because you're the kid that that bothers me. You're the one that is the manifestation of everything that I don't have, right? But you want to be my friend. Well,
yep.
You know, but maybe not now. Maybe all right. Happy ending for everybody.
We get the whole trip thing here, and them going gives us a lot of opportunities for some romantic snafu shenanigans. Love that we end up just casually getting pairs when it's something where, Yui is being kind of five-head genius here by setting up like, we're going to set up pairs, and Yukino's nowhere near here, and now we're pairs, and so here we go. We've set them up by, now I've got you together, and I'm going to have all these little moments that could have romantic opportunities. And, their little excitement over, helping them out and stuff could lead to maybe some things of where we can talk about that stuff. And then she's like casually bringing up things like, you think everyone's here for love-related reasons? And it's like, wait, so you're here for love-related reasons?
Oh, yeah.
It's like not so subtly dropped there.
And this is the kind of thing that really makes me love Yui as a character, because that's...
God, she keeps shooting her shot.
Right, she keeps shooting her shot.
This is a new thing for her.
Right, this is a new thing for her because if there was a character that was just like this from the get-go,
yes, exactly.
I wouldn't appreciate it as much, because it's just like, wow, they're incredible, but I need to see that struggle, right? Yeah. And the fact that we saw how she was at the beginning of the show, where she was super insecure, she didn't speak her mind and things like that, and now she's here being an absolute badass, like the, and totally unappreciated by Hachiman. The like she is.
He's noticing.
Well, he's noticing. He's noticing for sure, right? But I would say
is very
right because his guard is up, because he's self-focused, right? Because he's afraid of getting hurt, right? He is not appreciating just what an amazing thing it is that Yui is, not just that she likes you, but that she's confident enough in that she likes you, that she is basically laying out the red carpet for you, right? She is specifically trying to address all his insecurities and fears, like, and things like that, and saying, no, that doesn't matter. Come on, I like you.
But she hasn't confessed yet, and that is something that until that actually happens,
that's true.
And until that happens, she's shooting herself in the foot here, because Hachiman will not respond to anything short, really, of a confession.
Maybe I totally see what you mean,
because it's something where it comes under the prerogative of a nice girl thing, where he doesn't actually have the opportunity because of his trauma to look at it in a positive way. It's a way in which he could end up getting manipulated and hurt. Thus, it's a really
the reason why, so I totally agree with what you're saying. The reason why I think it also can potentially be helpful for Yui in this situation is that Hachiman is this is something that scares Hachiman, right? And that's why he puts up all these defenses. Yeah. So by doing all these things that are the indirect things, it's basically saying, hey, I'm turning up the heat slowly, right? I'm not going to jump straight to confession stuff, because we've seen that when she did that before, he was like, literally anything to stop this from happening. Yeah, answer that phone, right?
Right. Yeah.
So hopefully by doing this, it'll be kind of the...
Yes.
Pressuring his defenses enough so that then when the big guns comes out, he isn't like, this is going to destroy me kind of a thing, right? Like, he can actually hopefully face it.
Right.
But who knows?
Except for the fact that he just doesn't like her that way. So until that happens, in some ways, I think that this could be something that's actually just going to make it worse.
Oh, because she keeps pushing it as
and he's basically saying, hey, no. Like, they're both basically doing the subtly unsubtle things to try and move things in a direction. And his stuff is far more subtle than hers, like specifically. Thus, like, I don't expect her to get much of it, except for like maybe like a couple things specifically.
She understands his brand of baka,
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing with the ladle and the drinking out of it. And then she's like, yeah, who cares about that? And his, I do thoughts or something like that, basically being something that she is essentially able to read his mind a little bit. Not necessarily the exact stuff, but kind of the,
yeah, she knows what's up. Yeah.
Okay. well, then of course they shift scenes to, and then nothing happened after that of note.
Right. And then
that killed it, basically.
Right. And then we go to the interactions between him and Yukino, which almost feels like a similar thing, but reverse, where now sure. Hachiman is the one on the outside and Yukino is the one keeping him at a distance. And
yet she's the one also trying to make friends at times.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
she's like, hey, fancy seeing you here. He's like, it's a little late for that. Like,
right, exactly.
You saw me there all that time.
Yeah, and whether that's to simply cover the vulnerability of, oh, I care about what you think, and I don't want you to see me getting this cutesy little panda because I thought it was adorable. You know, well, okay, I'll go talk to you. You know, yeah. And then she even brings up something. Oh yeah. My classmates turned their attention on me, you know.
After she had projected the idea of him being uncomfortable in his room, which was the reason she left her room.
Yep.
Yukino.
Yeah. And
it's something that I love so much about the Yukino Hachiman dynamic is that the reason why I think she likes him on some small level, even though it's something where she's maybe not really sure about a lot of that stuff, is that she sees them both as actually like unnervingly similar at times.
Sure.
And she kinda doesn't know how to handle that.
Right.
Because it's the thing of where she's like, but we're not the same also.
Right. We're not
nothing like this guy.
Yeah, and
yet no, you are actually very similar in certain ways.
Right. That's probably why she does all those things of pointing out Hachiman's, like, you know, eccentricities and such, because it's we're different kind of like for herself, you know. But then it's also one of those things of like, I like that we're very similar because that way you can get it. But at the same time, if you get it, then that's something where that's a very close connection then, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
And he kind of likes it because she's safe. She's not a nice girl.
Right.
So
he feels comfortable approaching her, right? And this is something where I feel like that's the biggest reason why they'll probably end up being the canon couple. And what you were saying of Yui might actually be making it worse, I totally see that, because
or just unintentionally.
Totally unintentionally.
She's the only party involved here.
Oh, definitely. It takes two to tango.
Yeah.
But because Hachiman doesn't fully, in my mind, appreciate the way she's putting herself out there, there's no motivation for him to change the way he's doing things because he can be taking it for granted, right? Whereas if she were to eventually stop doing that and being like, okay, well, you know, I'm not going to keep laying out the red carpet if he's not going to walk on it, then maybe he could realize, oh, maybe I actually need to change things, right? Maybe there was something that I was doing that wasn't quite working well.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah.
Whereas in this situation with Yukino, kind of with just where he's at right there, they're still able to dance, you know, even if it's very, very simple and kind of timid and whatnot. But
what did you think about the thing where she's like, oh, yeah, it's not like it's not your problem. If you hadn't done that during the cultural festival, it's like, whoa, who, me? It's all, I didn't do anything wrong. It's society's fault. There's that joking kind of tone that he's taking there. But she kind of has this like, and then goes, anyway, you know, how are we doing with the request? Basically, let's switch subjects there.
Right.
Let's go off from that there. But what do you think that she was drawing attention to with that?
I think it was when he stood up for her. Right? Because he stood up for her. That's a, and he did it in a pretty awesome way, even though it was his own special brand of, you know, raging against society, but in doing so also helping out somebody.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm with you.
But
so remember how Yui said, "You think everyone's here for love reasons?" Basically, the idea that there was a choice as to whether or not they would go on this school trip.
Sure,
I feel like that's kind of it, or if it's the thing of like
what they're going to get out of it,
why they're gonna, exactly,
what they're going to enjoy, on.
So when Yukino said that the classmates turned their attention towards me, I thought, oh, is this bullying? And I'm like, wait, no, it's not.
It's the who do you like?
Who do you like?
It's the thing that they mentioned, you know, that happened in the previous trip of Tobei just being like, I kind of have the hots for Ebina. Yeah. So
and what do you think they did? But basically go, do you like Hachiman?
And then, fancy meeting you here. Really, it's ironic because I left because they were asking me about you.
Probably, yeah. because you two were like peas in a pod during that whole thing.
Yeah.
He was in your corner. Like, there's something
That's
there.
That's curious.
And she, of course, was probably appalled at the idea of that.
And probably gave some snappy remark and then left, you know.
Yeah. But it got her uncomfortable because some part of it where she's like,
yep,
I do kind of like his company, though.
And then when she's like, let's not walk together late at night, people might get... Like, people
Why would they think that unless they already think that in some ways?
Now, you know, no. She was just talking about it from the standpoint of, well, my family is very, you know, influential, and it would be bad for, you know, me to be seen with a boy late at night. You know, it's just, we can't have that, right? It would be bad publicity. No. Yeah.
We see you, Yukino. Yep. And also, like, we can tell that you do have some feelings, and they are messy, mixed up, and confusing.
Yep.
Because of your past in how awkwardly that whole thing was handled.
Right.
But also just in the idea that, like, you have spent a little bit of time together, like a notable but little amount of time together now.
Yep.
And you've gotten to know each other in some ways that you really haven't shared with many other people. You know, and that kind of vulnerability, I'm sure you're starting to find it attractive. Just the idea of, not that you're attracted to his vulnerability necessarily, but the act of being vulnerable with someone.
You like it, because you don't do it often,
right? And
and I think that's also kind of one of the roots behind why she has such a problem saying no to Yui.
Sure,
right? Because it's the no, come on. You're like my only friend. You're the sister I wish I had. Yeah. Right? Like. Okay. All right. Yeah. Whatever you say. Right.
Yeah.
You know. So with Hachiman here. Yeah. Of course.
I really love Hiratsuka Sensei just stealing the like comedy aspect of this, and that she's got to go smuggle some alcohol.
Yep. To drown her sorrows. Like the way she was like leaning out super far to try and get some of the water, but like take it in like a bottle. And the idea that like, who knows?
Great.
She might have even been a part of that conversation, maybe, that turned towards Yukino. And then afterwards, she goes, brings them along as an excuse that then ends up with them alone talking together.
Yep.
I'm just saying,
Hiratsuka, you're a genius.
Like, she knows her stuff. She may be hopeless, but she's not stupid.
Exactly.
Right?
She is absolutely a fool trying to figure out how to do adult life, and it's rough. I feel you.
Yep.
But the fact that she can just totally tell, like, this is a golden opportunity. She's like, hey, come with me. Come with me. All right.
Yep.
You're my two problem children I sent to the whole service club thing to ultimately, like...
Kiss, fall in love.
Well, remember, she sent, I'm guessing,
Yukino long before Hachiman.
Long before Hachiman with the intent of, like, this is going to be a good place for you. But,
Yeah.
Hachiman is like, oh, yes, this will be magical. But I just love the idea of also her having, like, shades at night. Just, like...
Yep.
Doing this whole, like,
she's gonna be living
teacher,
it up.
Like, she gives me, like, Femme Onizuka vibes at times.
Yeah.
It's just something that I'm here for.
Yep. I totally get what you mean.
Yeah.
Yep. Also, I gotta say, the different things that they did with character designs and things like that, like, having her hair up and things like that, those nice little details there.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
But okay. All right. First episode, season 2. Yep. Strong start.
Oh, very strong start.
Very good, strong start. And we set up another kind of little arc segment of story that's involving a trip.
And potential love confessions and things like that, and that whole convoluted mess and whatnot. I love it.
I think...
I will die on this ship.
Yeah.
I've said it before.
Okay. I think we're getting confession, like, from Yui in episode, like, 2 or 3.
I think so. I
think she is basically, like when she tugged the back of his coat like that, I'm like, yep.
Well, and the thing is, what I loved about that, this is a really specific detail, right? But whenever I see girls in anime grab the back of a coat, it's always like a little pinch of the coat, right?
Yep.
No, she like reached down and basically grabbed him by the pants almost. Like
it was
by the back.
coat.
Right, it was the coat, but there was nothing timid about it. It was like, wait, hold on.
It was confident.
It was confident, right? So I feel like what Yui's been doing has been basically the warning shots of like,
it's coming.
It's coming,
Get ready.
Fire off the bow, but like, but one way or another, this is happening, You
get a broadside,
exactly, right?
Attack. You're not gonna be ready for this.
Like, and you can't, weasel your way out of this one.
This is
like,
my decision.
This is happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna be so proud of her when she does it, and I'm gonna bawl my eyes out when she gets like cold rejected. Well, it's
because there's chance.
Here's what they could do that would be amazing. If he ends up in a situation where he just is tongue-tied and he just has no idea what to do, that would be amazing for him, because he's usually the kind of guy whose mind is racing at a mile a minute with all these thoughts and stuff, that if he just has his translator from mind to mouth break and he just goes to her, that might actually make it a lot better, because it's the thing of where he's like,
this is reaching him,
but he doesn't know what to do.
Right. You don't have to always have a quip, Hachiman. You don't have to always be able to say with some barbed remark of how this is, because society is screwed up. It's okay. It's okay.
But ultimately, the one who I think is going to... I mean, because I don't think he wants to hurt her.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
We know he's a good boy in a lot of ways. He has his asshole streak, for sure.
Yeah.
But this is something where I think he's subconsciously aware and worried about this, hence his little comment of, but if it's someone that that's close to you.
We already have a good dynamic.
Friendship is over. And I almost want to bring back that part up again, because when he says that, and he's like, it can get worse, and he says that basically it could lead to that friendship being over. When he says that, I think he gets cut off rather quickly.
Oh.
Yeah. So who says this here? He says, and if it's someone basically that you're close to, someone you're on good terms with, you have someone you're good. That friendship's now dead, and look how scared she looks there.
Yeah.
And it's Hayama that stops him.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Which makes sense, because he's the one who's in tune with all the emotions of people.
But not only that, Hayama has been protecting Hachiman at times without him necessarily being
realizing
directly aware of it.
So,
or if he is aware of it, it's a thing of where he doesn't pay special note in the actions of the anime there.
Yep.
But this is one where right when that happens and Hayama kind of switches out, you see Yukino is just like, oh my God, I'm getting a headache. Just right. This. But Yui just kind of goes, oh.
Yeah.
Like kind of. Like, oh.
Diffused situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. The realization of, if this person likes me, then some of the things that I've said in just offhand remarks, totally nothing behind it or anything like that. But how that could potentially hurt someone.
I'm
it's
so
like
ready.
That.
Oh my God.
I've been there, and that sucks.
It does.
That sucks. So.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Oregairu.
Yeah.
Take us. Let's go. Get that confident top energy.
Yeet this neat. Like
yeet this neat.
I know he's in school, but like
oh my God.
Like
I would have never expected those words.
You got this
to come out of your mouth.
Like,
oh my God.
So, yeah.
Okay. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
Yes, all the info for that's in the description. We stream every weekday. Check it out.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.